Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dream Theater. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dream Theater's very first song ever written back in 1985. Does anybody have any guesses as to what song this is? Leave it in the comments below. Let's get started. We're talking about Another One from 1985. Dream Theater's very first composition as a band. Let's take a look. All right, so that introduction, we are essentially in the key of, well, I mean, let's be honest here, guys. Dream Theater doesn't typically just write songs in a key. They might write songs in parts of half a dozen keys. So let's just take this section by section. What you just heard right there were essentially some basic heavy metal power chords off of the notes A and B with a B pedal tone. And then from there, we throw in some D sus4 chords that resolve to D major chords with a G as the pedal tone. And then we have some D sus4s to D majors again. And then for the last section, the last part of that section, which I'll play here for you, we have basically a D sus4 to an E sus4 back to a D sus4. So let's just take a listen. All right, so now the next section, we are outlining the power chords E5 to C major, then we have a G5 to a D major. So it kind of appears that we're in E minor for this, E being the 1, C being the 6, G being the 3, and D being the 7. All of those notes line up diatonically. We don't have all the color tones, we don't have all the major and minor thirds needed, but we're just going to assume loosely that's what we're doing. Let's take a listen to that section. I gotta say, I feel like the unsung hero of this song is the bass. The bass is more exciting than anything else. Anyway, on to the next section. We are going to abruptly shift from this into that. So this was basically E minor, and when we shift, we're jumping directly into B minor. So we're kind of just keeping with the minor tonality, but moving it up a fifth. Very common thing to do. The chords in this section are B minor 7 to G major to F sharp to G major to A. And so let's just take a little listen to that. Let's hear the switch again from E minor to B minor. Here's your G, F sharp, A. Now this part, that part brings in some arpeggiated chords. The chords being used are B minor to B sus2 to B sus4, and then finally B minor again. And then the tail end of that, we have a D to a D sus4 to a G. So a lot of D chords, a lot of G chords, a lot of sus chords, bringing in their Rush influence. Really good stuff. The section after that, let's just kind of give you the tail end of the arpeggiated part first. Another nice abrupt shift. So coming out of the arpeggiated section, we are met with a G chord followed by a D chord with an F sharp in the bass, followed by a C chord. Now we have an A chord with an E in the bass, and then a G major to an A minor. Let's just play that section. Coming out of the previous section, here's the shift, and then the big change right there. Again, listen to that bass. And here's a bunch of A minor. All right, now this next section, it's triplet based, it's very fast. It's only 3 notes, and based on the 3 notes used, and I just want to interject something here. I always like to say these kinds of things during these analysis videos. Bands like Dream Theater don't follow traditional theory rules. If this were a Taylor Swift song, the video would have been over by now. I could have done a Taylor Swift song in a minute, and it would have been 4 chords in 1 key over and over and over with cheesy lyrics, and that would be it. But these guys are all over the place. It's not so much about what key they're in, it's about what the key is it's about what key is being implied, and also it's about rhythmic variety and harmonic variety, breaking the rules, adding in chords from other keys, non-diatonic notes, etc. The more interesting, the better, right? So this section, the only available knowledge that I can give you are 3 notes. And based on those 3 notes, it appears we are in like a B Phrygian kind of feel, because we're dealing with a flat 2. So let's just take a listen to that. So that's got like a B Phrygian kind of feel. Now the next section that comes in a second here, we're going to be met with like an E Phrygian style, like scale type pattern that's not necessarily played as a scale, but you can definitely take those notes and get the E Phrygian scale from it. That would be this. And then ending on that E, cementing home the E Phrygian. We have one more section here, guys. Try to keep this short and sweet. The next section would be this. I'm going to start on, we have this slow build of E minor here. E minor, E minor, E minor, G, A, E minor, and then B. So it's this really cool like call and answer thing where the first part is E minor as the slow build leading to the G and then the A and then back to the E minor. So it's kind of like a 1, 3, 4 in E minor. And then it goes to B and it does like a B to A to B. But the shift is so dramatic. It feels so good. I can't help but feel like that is like a definite modulation. So let's just hear that again. Here's coming out of the E. B, back to the G, A, E, and then the solo kicks in. Just absolutely phenomenal. That's all I'm going to do for this one, guys. Really cool song. The only time I learned about this song was off the DVD score, and the reason it was part of that DVD is because it is in fact Dream Theater's first ever written song. And if you're wondering, was it a great song? I would say it was one hell of a song. Particularly like the bass part the most, and the vocal line is really cool too. But overall, pretty basic for Dream Theater, but we're talking 1985, so you get what you get. They were still in their infancy at that point. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're still here, please hit the like button. Because if you're still here, you might as well give me a little bit of something, a little kickback for YouTube to promote this video to other people. If you like what I do, leave me a comment. And I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on another one. All right? Peace.